everybody. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amy, and today I will be representing the Women's in Aviation project in Asia, the WIA project. We are an initiative to encourage and empower women of all ages in the area of aviation. Our website is thewiaproject.com, and our YouTube channel is right below, so do check us out for more information. Today, I am so excited to be joined by this wonderful gentleman. His name is Gary Dolski. He is the CEO of Metrojet Hong Kong. And just a little bit of background, they are the first company in the region to employ female pilots and engineers. And also, third of their staff are females, many of which hold managerial positions. So before I continue, I will just also allow Gary to tell us a little bit more about himself.
Okay. I've been in the industry for 40 plus years, and it's been absolutely enjoyable, and I do it all over again. I've been married to my best friend Diane we've been together for 38 years, and we have three fantastic daughters that we're both extremely proud of, and the daily reminders really of how fortunate we are going through these changing and challenging pandemic times. I've been with Metrojet for 4 years, 3 of which as the CEO. We've moved career-wise with the family 25 times. I've been based in 13 different cities and had the pleasure of working in Canada, the US, UK, Singapore, and Hong Kong, and basically have been able to work on every continent with the exception of South America. I benefited by working directly for the OEMs as well as the independents, and have been on the supplier side of things and as well as a customer and everything in between. And all this has really helped me to get a pretty good perspective in the industry. It's opened up my thought process. I've been able to work with different cultures, different environments, and now I think in my decision process where it's really helped me, I look at things with different perspectives and I can resolve issues differently and come up with some alternate solutions.
Wow, that's great. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you realize, but actually, we want to thank Metrojet Hong Kong especially because they were actually our first support partners in this WIA project. It means so much to us. And how do you feel about that?
Well,
and
you know what?
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, this project to me is pretty dear to my heart. Like I said, I'm married to my best friend and I have 3 daughters. The Women in Aviation Asia initiative, to me, it's a very worthwhile one and one that needs the support of all the industry, not just one company. It needs all of us to support. And when I look at it, for whatever reason, the aviation industry, it's not only business, but also commercial. It's predominantly been male-based. And I'm a person that's always looked into the future. And just because things have happened a certain way, or currently the way that they're doing, it's not a reason that it should stay that way. Evolution is a way of moving forward. And when you look at the workforce today, it's 50-50. There's 50% women, 50% men. So there's no reason why that shouldn't be the same in aviation. And I'd even go make a stronger statement on that is that not only in terms of the percentage of women in the industry, but more importantly for me, is women's percentages should definitely increase and be at the same, if not more, in the management roles, because these are the roles that are going to help drive and change the business. And women absolutely deserve that opportunity.
Great. So we're talking about more merit and credibility rather than just, gender.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's great. So I've watched a couple of your interviews on YouTube and whatnot, and especially talking about this current pandemic. What is the situation right now, as of now? We're almost end of the year. How's it going in Hong Kong and the region that you're in?
Okay, so we go back a bit and we take a look at it, and when it all started in April, it really just put us to a standstill, not only ourselves, but the industry as a whole.
Right.
It has been picking up slowly, without a doubt. It is an uphill battle, one that I personally, when I look at, I think will extend well through 2021 and into 2022. We've all seen a significant reduction in flying, albeit it is starting to ramp up. The challenges really remain consistent, and this is where one of the bigger problems is that There is an inconsistency within countries. There is an inconsistency within travel restrictions, as well as the testing procedure. Once we get into some form of a normalization, it'll get better. On the bright side, the aircraft parking and MRO opportunities have increased for us and our competition. The promise of a vaccine on the horizon is obviously a welcome relief, but we have to temper that a bit and just say we need some continued testing. There's going to
Mm-hmm.
have to be the subsequent manufacture. And then there's the distribution and who gets it first and who doesn't. And then after that, there's the whole revaccination that has to happen. So whatever that new normal will definitely be a different normal than now. In Hong Kong and in many parts of the world with the changing temperatures, we are seeing a bit of a spike, but that
Mm-hmm.
spike also allows us to be a bit more creative in how we do our work, and whether or not we go on to A and B shifts, whether or not we have more flexible hours, whether or not people work more at home, whether or not we do these type of an interviews more and more. It will be a change in the future, and I'll tell you, eh, there's going to be some good that'll come out of this with these changes.
That's true. That's true. I'm glad. And, like you said, despite the negative, effect of this pandemic, overall in the aviation industry. So you believe that there is some positive outcomes that will also come out of this.
Oh, 100%. And whenever you're hitting into an obstacle, there's an opportunity, right? And so whenever there's adversity, there's a chance to improve things, to grow things, to shine, to reinvent yourself. So if you look at the pandemic right now, I've never seen our competition work closely together to find solutions. Somebody needs something, you just pick up the phone and we're willing to help, whether or not it's PPE, whether or not it's to help your customer, whether or not it's to help your staff. People are really bending over backwards to help each other. Um, we're all taking, I believe, a more personal and caring approach to everyone around us. And whether it's our staff, our partners, our competition, our customers, we all want to make this work and help them out. So there is some benefits that I see in this. I mentioned earlier just the whole work at home. How are we going to do that? What are we going to do to help people remotely? And we'll find the solutions in doing this.
Right, right. So, like I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the introduction, I said that you have quite a few women in your entity, in your company, and you support women empowerment and in
Mhm.
gender equality. So, how do these women generally feel about being part of this industry, especially being a part of Metrojet?
Okay, so I don't think there's a huge difference between men and women when I look at the industry aspect because
Mhm.
aviation has provided me with wonderful memories and experience, and I think whether or not it's a male or a female that'll come and will work in an industry, it's because they want to work in the industry and there may be a love for the industry, right? And so
Right.
because of that, I don't think it's really gender specific in terms of an individual wanting to work in the industry. Um, we were very much an equal opportunity employer, and really, regardless, to me, it doesn't matter on the gender, the race, orientation. Everyone should be given the same opportunity. The important thing to me, and you mentioned it earlier, is we've been around for as long as we have been, 22 years. We're the first employer of female pilots and engineers. Currently, actually, we have over 60 women that work with us, and 20% of them are in management positions. And in actual fact, our management board that runs the company, 40% of our board consists of women. And I think that's the right thing to do.
Wow.
And it's not because they're just women, they're the right qualified people to do the job.
That's so true. That's really true. So, just I mean, because we're just talking about reality right now, especially this pandemic. What do you think? How has this pandemic actually impacted the involvement of women in the future or presently?
Okay, well, and I actually think it extends beyond women as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you look during the whole height of the pandemic, um, if you look at the impact that it had on families, for instance, and it's actually been both parents because in Hong Kong, and I suggest in many areas in Asia, um, the homes tend to be smaller than maybe what we get used to in Europe or in North America. And we had instances where we have a couple that has three kids at home, and it really doesn't matter if it's the mom or the dad, but when there's five of you sitting at the kitchen table, all fighting for your elbow space, all fighting for the same Wi-Fi connection, obviously that created a lot of challenges for everyone. And it didn't matter whether or not it was the man or the woman in the relationship, but I'm sure each of them were saying, I think it's my time to work at the coffee shop and you stay home and watch the kids. So I don't think it's really a gender specific thing in terms of did women have to face it more so than men. Um, there is the whole dynamic in, again, especially in Asia, where you have quite often it's an intergenerational home life, and it's impacted not only on the kids but the parents and the siblings, but also the extended family. And initially, when you're looking at the pandemic as it hit through with everyone, a lot of people were looking at the elderly as being more at risk, and how did that impact them, and what did you have to do in your house to kind of keep people sectioned off so that they wouldn't be affected. So it really isn't a sex orientation, race, or ethnicity issue. It's really all of us have to face the same problem.
Right, you're right. So, what are your thoughts on the WIA project initiative, considering you're our first support partner?
Well, it's first of all, it's incredibly worthy. I'm very happy that Katie and the rest of the group are taking the lead in doing this. Um, Without a doubt, it's needed. Companies like ourselves should be there to support you. It helps the industry. It gives us different perspectives, right? We
Right.
don't, we don't, and I'm one of, we don't need all a bunch of old white haired guys trying to decide what's best for us. To be very frank with you, my wife will tell you many times I'm probably wrong more than I'm right, and everyone brings good ideas to the table. So I'm actually quite excited about this. It's identifying and giving a focal point. Um, Very much looking forward to working with yourself and helping to champion you not only within industry with our competition, but with our customers, suppliers, and partners as well. It's a very good thing that we're doing here.
Same here as well. You mentioned earlier that you actually have three daughters.
Yes.
So, can I assume that one of them will be following your footsteps soon?
Well, that's an interesting one. It's what all of them what they all do is they're very active in humanitarian work, and I think probably a lot of the reason for that is the places that we've worked and we've been around the world. My middle daughter is a lawyer, and she's on the corporate side that has an
Wow,
inkling towards aviation. But
that's great.
the one thing that I've pushed for all of our kids, and I think it's important for everything when we look at a way forward. Um, do what you want to do that's good for you. Don't do what's good for your mom. Don't do what's good for your dad. Whatever you do it 110%. Give it the right effort. Enjoy what you do, right? Have fun
So
what you do,
true.
because in our industry and any other industry, for the hours that we put in, really enjoy what you're doing. To me, the key on my daughters or in anyone else is be a good person. If you see somebody that has fallen, if you see somebody that's about to fall, go and help them, right? And I would then take that to a step as a company. What we should be doing is show your staff that you care about them, right? Because if you care about your staff, they'll take wonderful care of the customer. Treat your staff very well. Provide them with a good remuneration package so they can have a good living. Help them develop to the best that they can be. Then I look at myself. I've done my job, and whether or not my girls go into this profession or another profession, I can take a step back and say, you know what, they're doing what they want. They're good people. That's really all we want to do right now in the world, I think, is and it's shown in what's going on in the world during the pandemic, during some of the political issues that are coming up. Just treat people well, and let's hope for the best going forward.
Wow, thank you, Gary. Thank you so much for your input on empowering women, young women, especially in aviation. Any particular last thoughts or quotes that you want to share in terms of inspiring future female aviators, or any words of empowerment? Please do
Well,
share.
and I wouldn't just actually just do it for women themselves, but if you have faith in yourself, you can do it. Use people as a conduit to help you, but I firmly believe is you have it within yourself. chase your dreams, okay? Chase your dreams, and don't. When you're successful, the successful people in the world have failed many, many, many times, and that's what actually made them successful, is not being afraid to fail, right? And to me, I would just say, chase your dreams, enjoy what you do, make sure it puts a smile on your face, make sure you can laugh, and empower yourself. And I firmly believe companies like ours, other companies, we're here to help develop you to be the best that you can be. And ideally, I've developed you so you can stay within Metrojet. But if I've developed you and you can go to the competition and you do well there, I'll be the first person to shake your hand and be very, very happy for you. Because I now I've extended my network. You may be working somewhere else, but if I can look back and say I've helped you, I've done my job.
Wow, thank you so much. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, especially future females in aviation. Gary Dolski, Metrojet from Hong Kong. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Amy,
This-
thank you very much. All the best, and stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Good.